So I'm gonna to share with you guys about two companies, which is Kerjaya Prospect and Kotra Industry. So let me share with you guys about first company that we do is Kerjaya Prospect. Kerjaya Prospect is a company involved in the construction of commercial and high-rise resident buildings, real estate development, and lighting and kitchen. Kerjaya Prospect have gained much accolade and partly the title of Best Main Contractor in the prestigious Developer Award 2018 and the title of the Best Premium Main Contractor in the prestigious Developer Award 2019 by Property Insight are the only title. Since making an investment in the industrialized building system IBS in 2011, we have used IBS technology in a variety of project development. The group will keep investing in IBS since firmly thinks that it is essential to the growth of the group. So now let's move to another company background, which is Kotra Industry. Kotra Industry Berhad. Kotra is a business with its headquarters in Malacca that was founded in 1982. Kotra, one of the leading manufacturers of pharmacy in Southeast Asia, focus on the development, manufacture, and distribution of pharmacy and healthy care products. Kotra successfully transitioned to Bursa Malaysia, main market in 2007 after being permit trade on its market in 2000. Kotra have three most popular brands, which is Appleton, Excel, and Vexel.
I want to talk about liquidity ratio in Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad that include current ratio and quick ratio. Liquidity ratio measures how well the business can cover the short-term debt using different assets. Formula for current ratio is current asset divided by current liabilities. Some of the current assets are inventories, contract assets, and trade receivables. The total of current assets is 683,509,532 ringgit, and the current liabilities are trade and other payables, short-term borrowing, and income tax payable. The total of current liabilities are 223,624,999 ringgit. When the current asset divided by the current liabilities, we will get the ratios is 3.06 to 1. Next, we need to divide quick asset with current liabilities to get the Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad quick ratio. To get the quick asset, the current asset need to minus with inventories, and the total of quick asset is 629,802,999 ringgit. Then divide it with current liabilities. So the quick ratio is 2.82 to 1. For the activity ratio of Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad, there are total asset turnover and account receivable turnover. To get the total asset turnover is net sales divide with average total asset. To get average total asset at the beginning, add with total asset at the end, and divide with 2. So RM 2,999,658,427 ringgit divide by 2. So the total asset turnover for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 0.65 times, which means the efficiency the company generate revenue using the asset is 0.65 times. Next, the formula of account receivable is net sales divided by average trade receivable. To get the average trade receivable, we need to add opening balance of account receivable with ending balance of account receivable, then divide it with 2, and the total will be 378,715,871 ringgit. After that, take the net sales, which is 977,014,843 ringgit, and divide it. So we get the account receivable turnover for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 2.5 times. Next is the profitability ratio for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad. There are profit margin on sales and return on asset. To get the profit margin on sales, net income need to be divided by the net sales. Net income equal to total revenues minus with total expenses, and the total is 941,723,896 ringgit. Then divide it with 977,014,843, which is amount of the net sales. So the profit margin on sales for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 0.96%. So the next formula is formula for return on asset, which net income divide with average total asset. The net income is 941,723,896 ringgit. Divide with average total asset, which is 1,499,829,214 ringgit. So the return on asset for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 0.63%. Last but not least, the Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad's leverage ratio have debt to asset ratio and debt to equity ratio. To get the debt to asset ratio, total liabilities need to divide with total asset. So total liabilities is 364,446,399 ringgit divide with total asset, which is 1,510,345,827 ringgit. The debt to asset for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 0.24%. The formula of debt to equity ratio is total debts divided with honest equity. Total debt is equal to total liabilities. So 364,446,399 ringgit, divide it with honest equity, which is 1,125,899,428 ringgit. So the debt to equity ratio for Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is 0.32%. That's all from me. Thank you.
About the liquidity ratio in control industry Berhad that include current and quick ratio. About the quick ratio, the formula is current asset divided with current liabilities. There are 9 current assets in control industry Berhad, like inventories, current assets, and trade receivable, and the total of current asset is 128,057, and there are 6 current liabilities like term loans, trade payable, and other payable, and the total is 37,957. When the current asset divide with the current liabilities, the current ratio of control industry Berhad is 3.37/1. Next, we need to divide quick asset with current liabilities to get the contra industry Berhad quick ratio. To get the quick asset, the current asset need to minus inventory, and the total of quick asset is 93,753, then divide it with current liabilities. The contrast quick ratio will be 2.7 2.47/1. Let's move to the activity ratio of Contra Industry Berhad. There are two ratios, which is total asset turnover and account receivable turnover. To get total asset turnover, net sales need to divide the average total asset. Average total asset is asset at the beginning plus asset at the end, then divide it with 2. So 159,622 divide with 2, the total asset turnover for contract industry Berhad will be 0.63 times. Next, the formula of account receivable is net sale divided with average trade receivable. To get the average trade receivable, we need to add starting receivable and ending receivable, then divide it with 2, and the total will be 23893. After that, take the net sales 159,622 divided with 23893. The account receivable for contract industry Berhad will be 6.68 times. Okay, about the profitability ratio for contract industry Berhad, there are profit margin on sales and return on asset. To get profit margin on sales, net income need to divide with net sales. Net income equal to total revenue minus total expenses, and the total is 81628, then divide it with 159,622, which is the amount of the net sales. So the profit margin on sale for contract industry Berhad will be 0.51%. Next, the formula for return on asset is net income divided with average total asset. The net income is 81628 divided by average total asset, which is 252,888. So the return on asset for contract industry Berhad will be 0.32%. The contract industry Berhad's leverage ratio have debt to asset ratio and debt to equity ratio. To get debt to asset ratio, total liabilities need to divide with total assets. So total liabilities is 46124 divided with total asset 252543. The debt to assets for contract industry Berhad will be 0.18%. Next, the formula for debt to equity ratio is total debt divided with owner's equity. Total debt is equal to total liabilities. So, 46124 divided with owner's equity, which is 206419. So, the debt to equity ratio for contract industry Berhad will be 0.22%.
Hi, I'm Nur Amira binti Azmi. My metric number 292227. Today I want to talk about comparison rates between Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad and Contra Industries Berhad. First, liquid rates. Current rates, the ability to repay short-term debt of Syarikat Contra Industries Berhad is faster than Syarikat Berjaya Prospect Group Berhad. Next, quick rates. The ability to repay short-term debt at an immediate rate of Syarikat Berjaya Prospect Group Berhad is better than Syarikat Contra Industry Berhad. Activity rates, total asset turnover. The ability of Syarikat Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad to use assets more efficiently than Syarikat Contra Industries Berhad. Next, account receivable turnover. The ability of Syarikat Contra Industries Berhad to collect money from customers is better than Syarikat Berjaya Prospect Group Berhad. Next is profitability rates, profit margin on sales. The ability of Syarikat Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad to generate profit is higher than that of Syarikat Contra Industries Berhad. Return on assets. The ability of Syarikat Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad's assets to generate profit is higher than that of Syarikat Contra Industries Berhad. Last one, the leverage rates, debt to assets ratio. The ability to pay back long-term debt assets of Syarikat Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad is faster than Syarikat Contra Industry Berhad. Debt to equity ratio. The shareholder list of Syarikat Contra Industry Berhad is more sustainable than Syarikat Kerjaya Prospect Group Berhad.